Hi students, many students are at the many students are in the stage of very depression because they are having the time less. Okay, what they have time less, but work is more. Where to study, what to study, from which they have to refer. That is the main problem. Okay, so already you must have seen the thumbnail. This is your status. If you are at this point, you are at this doubt. Okay, I got very less time. I have wasted my complete year. I could not study because of some reasons, and but I have to do something. I wanted to get the good college admission. Then this series is exclusively for you. Okay, so you feel that I am dried now. I cannot do anything. But after this course, you can flourish. You can flourish. That is one shot series. Okay, so one shot series is exclusively designed for those people who wanted to work more or get more with the less time. Okay, so if you are one of this, then definitely each and every lecture of this is going to be highly useful, because this course is designed in such a way that you can score easily, smartly, not hard working, smart working. Okay, because after going through the previous examination questions, this course is designed. It is applicable for board exams, applicable for MSET exam, applicable for NEET exam, applicable for mains exam, because slowly level is increased, and wherever you got that particular topic doubt, on the same video you can get the complete playlist. Suppose you are going through the mole concept video, you got problem in the audiometry, you are not able to understand, you want to more clarity, then you can go to that particular lecture in the playlist, so that you can go reach to the advanced level. Instead of studying everything and wasting the full day time, you go through the first one shot series, pick out the problematic topics. Wherever you require practice, you can go for the numerical session. Wherever your concept is not clear, you go through the theory session. So everything is as per your this is customized as per your requirements. I hope all of you will share this video to your friends, and they also will be feel happy by the helping nature of you. And don't forget to like all these videos and utilize it. Explore and settle in a good career with good college, good branch. See you. Bye bye. Okay, students, today we are going to complete the basic concepts of chemistry, that is mole concept. One way we can say mole concept, okay, or we can say basic concepts of chemistry. Basic concepts of chemistry. Okay, this you can say one shot mole concept or basic concepts of chemistry. Now we will try to complete the total mole concept right from the basics to hint about the each and every topic. I will be trying to give you hint, and further practice, further detailed explanation. You can go through the individual lectures. Okay, like significant figures. Suppose significant figures, I will just tell you. Okay, for the details, you can go through the practice session, and further detail session, you can go through it. Okay, so let's start with the mole concept or basic concepts of chemistry. Okay, so a lot of people are having problems, especially before going for examination, before going for any examination, let it be NEET, let it be AIMS, let it be mains, let it be MSET, any examination before going to even board exam also. Okay, so if you go through this, at least you will get idea what are the topics we are having. If you have any doubt in particular topic, you can select that topic and you can practice on that topic. Okay, This is general idea about the complete topic in one shot. Okay, as the mole concept, the name itself suggests we are going to start with the mole only. Okay. Now, why the mole is given with the separate chapter and so much importance in the chemistry? Okay. The main reason behind the importance given to the mole, even though it is a part of so many units, like we have mass unit kilogram, like we have distance unit meter. This is also one of the part like mole also. Okay. So, but still it is given with the separate chapter and it is studied everywhere in chemistry. So, what is the advantage? Like we have many elements in the chemistry, but carbon is given with the separate branch. Why? Because of its unique properties like catenation and tetravalency, it can form infinite number of compounds. Therefore, carbon and its compounds are studied separately and treated as a organic chemistry. Same way, mole also got something special because of which it is given with the separate treatment, separate utilization everywhere. Okay. So what is that separate treatment and why it is done? Because of its versatility. What is the reason? Versatility. Okay. So what is versatility? It can be converted into many forms. It can be converted back from many forms to this form. Okay. Versatility means if you have one mole, if you have any information in terms of the mole, you can convert into many types and you can convert back into many form to one mole. Is it understood? That is the advantage of mole unit. Understood? So like if we have moles, you can know how many number of particles are there. If you have any information in moles, you can find the mass of that substance. If you have any information in volume, then you can calculate the volume. Okay. So one unit number of information you are getting are many. That's why it is versatile. Okay. Suppose if you have anything in grams like 10 kg, only thing you know that it is 10 kg. But out of this 10 kg, how many molecules are there? Can you find out? No. Out of this 10 kg, what is the volume in liter? Can you find out? No. Okay. But the same thing, if it is given 10 mole, if it is given 10 mole. So out of this 10 mole, how many number of particles are there and how many number of particles are there? How much is the mass and how much is the volume, like that you can calculate them with easily. Okay, so that's why the mole units are very, very important and that's why it is given a separate treatment. Okay. Okay, so but for conversion of anything into the moles, for conversion of anything into moles and from moles to anything, you have to follow some set of frame of rules. Okay, so if you follow those rules, then it will be convenient. Understood? The advantage is you can convert it into anything or anything can be converted back into the moles. The disadvantage is that you should know the rules or process to understand. Okay, so mole can be converted into number of, always 1 mole of any substance will contain Avogadro number of. People starts reading only up to here, but actual thing starts here only. Okay, so 1 mole of molecule contain Avogadro number of molecule. 1 mole of atom contain one Avogadro number of atom, but it does not mean that 1 mole of molecule will contain Avogadro number of atom. No. Okay, you have to multiply it with the atomicity. Is it understood? Now you can convert into the mole into the mass depending on the existence. If it exists in atomic state, then it is called gram atomic mass. If it exists in ionic state or crystal state, then we use gram formula mass. If it exists in covalent state and molecular state, then we use gram molecular mass. Okay. So molecule with covalent bond, gram molecular mass. Ions are crystal, gram formula mass. And a single atom, atomic state, then we use gram atomic mass. Okay, so this we have to select as per the requirement. Suppose if you are given with 1 mole of oxygen atom, then you will use GAM. 1 mole of oxygen gas, that time you will use gram molecular mass. Okay, 1 mole of oxide ion, then you will use gram formula mass. Is it understood? Difference is depending on the each and every word: oxide, oxygen atom, oxygen gas. So the value will entirely change, and there won't be much change in the atomic mass and formula mass. Okay, and before coming to the moles, you have to make sure that the given substance is gas and the measured value is at STP only. Measured value is at STP only. Okay, so if it is other than the STP, then we will use the states of matter formula and we will convert back that volume into the STP volume, equivalent volume at STP, then we can proceed this. Okay, but if it is not a gas at STP, then there is no use because volume is measured only for the gases. Okay, and it is equal to GMV. GMV means gram molar volume. If it is ideal gas and STP is maintained, then only it is 22.4 liter. Okay. If it is SATP, then something else. SATP and STP difference is when it is uh, temperature is room temperature, then it is called as a SATP, standard ambient temperature. Understood? Ambient temperature and pressure. So this can be interconverted. This can be interconverted. This can be interconverted. Is it understood? So this is about the complete mole formulas. Number of formulas are very less. How many formulas? Only 6 formulas. Mole volume relation, mole mass relation, mole number of relation. Okay. Second is fourth, number of and mass relation. Number of and mass relation. And next relation is here number of and mass relation. Sorry, number of and volume relation. Here it will be number of and mass relation. Okay, and this relation is volume. This relation is volume and mass relation. Okay, so number of formulas are limited, but scope of utilization is difficult. Understood? So we have to use it in a smart way so that which way to start and which direction you should proceed. Only two things you should understand. What are those two things? Which way you should start, from where you have to start, and which direction. Suppose you are confirmed that you are to start from volume, but here also we can have how many ways? Total 3 ways. You can go in this pattern, in this pattern, and in this pattern. Okay. So which direction you have to go, and out of these many places where you have to start. If you are confirmed about that, then things will be very easy and you will be able to utilize the versatility of the mole. Is that understood? Make a note of it, then we will go for the further topics. Okay, there are certain things generally people are making mistake because of which expected marks people are not getting. Okay, so there is a small difference, STP and SATP. Okay, if a simple word of A is added, then you have to take 22.7 liter. SATP means standard ambient temperature and pressure. That time you have to use 22.7. Okay, now this is average atomic mass. So when you learn here, it will be very easy, but when the same question comes out of the many chapters, then it will be difficult. Okay, so why question will be, why atomic mass of the chlorine is fraction. Okay, 35.5, even though atomic mass is simply number of proton plus number of neutron. Okay, that is a difference. Atomic mass is different, mass number is different. Understood? Mass number can be integer, but atomic mass may or may not be integer. Atomic mass can be may not be integer, but mass number will be integer, because mass number is simply sum of the number of protons and neutrons. But atomic mass is not like that. When you take mass number, when you take mass number average, then you will get the atomic mass. So let us take one mass number is M1, another isotope mass number is M2. Their percentage or number of are given. Suppose percentage means number of you will take, and moles are given. N1 and N2 will give you the number of moles or number of also you can take. Individual number of particles or atoms or number of moles also okay. Understood? But if these are moles, then these are also should be moles. If these are simply number of, then these are also should be number of only. Understood? So there is no problem of the unit until unless they match with each other. Okay? If one has to be in moles, then another has to be in moles. Is it understood? Now, there you should not have any problem. Understood? Then this you will not at this place you will be feeling very easy. But when you go for the chemical equilibrium, when you study the chemical equilibrium, there you will find average molecular mass. Okay, there is a formula D, capital D minus small d. So there it will be a problem, because let us take an example of uh, 2NO2 gives N2O4. Okay, so this is a reversible reaction. What is this? 2NO2 reversible N2O4. Now at the given point of time you will have some molecules of N2O4 also and some molecules of NO2 also. So that equilibrium mixture will be average molecular mass. Is it understood? So that's why revision after completion of complete syllabus is very essential. Okay. So when we teach the only chemical equilibrium, we will be in a mind that already it was taught in the mole concept. And during the mole concept teaching, then we will think that we will teach while explaining the chemical equilibrium. Okay. So now all together will be combined to here. Mole concept also, chemical equilibrium also. So that is the advantage of going through the one shot after completion of the syllabus. Is it understood? So this will be indirectly applicable in mole concept. This will be indirectly applicable in calculating the nuclear chemistry. Especially you will find this in the nuclear chemistry. Okay. So in the nuclear chemistry, wherever you are using that more than one isotope, then average atomic mass will be useful. Is it understood? And this is more important than this one. Note down, and this point also very important. SATP and STP. Just make a note of it. Then we will go for some more very important minute points are there, but their value you will come to know once you start using them at the different chapters. Okay, Dulong-Petit's law. See, sometimes we think that we will teach in the thermodynamics, and during thermodynamics, you may feel that already discussed in the mole concept. Because of this wrong impression only, the lot of important things will be missed, and one day you will get the same question in the examination. Okay, so here Dulong-Petit's law, it is used in calculating the atomic mass. Where it is used in the calculation of atomic mass, but for that you require specific heat. Okay, when you are given with specific heat, you can find out the atomic mass into specific heat is always approximately equal to 6.4. So some smart people, what they will do, they will simply read the formula and they start going to the examination and they will substitute, but they don't worry about the units. Unit you must convert into calorie per gram. Degree Celsius is not a problem. Okay. Specific heat is the amount of heat required in calorie by 1 gram of substance to increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Okay. So if they give the heat they will give no problem. But what they will make, they will make the energy in terms of the joules, kilojoules, ergs. Then you should convert all of them into the calories. Then you substitute here. Okay. This is very dangerous fact which if you are not knowing, you will be ending up in the -1. If you know this dangerous fact, then it will be easy to solve and get plus 4 marks. Okay. According to Dulong's and Petit's law, product of atomic mass and specific heat is always equal to 6.4. This is what Dulong's Petit's law. Okay. Statement only. Actually, I have converted this into the formula form, and wherever the students are making mistake, that is highlighted so that that mistake you should not be doing. Is it understood? Dulong Petit law says that irrespective of type of element, let it be metal, non-metal, no problem. Any atom, atomic mass and its own specific heat when multiplied, it will always be equal to 6.4. Okay, that is law, and this is the mathematical form. And atomic mass will be in what? In grams only, because once it is in grams, this has to be in grams, and people are not making mistake along with this. Okay, so there will be questions with respect to the equivalent weight. From here, you will find out atomic mass, and from redox reaction, you will find out the equivalent factor. By using both of them, what you will find out? Ultimately, equivalent weight you will find out. Okay. So like that, multi-concept question will be there. Understood? Okay, I told you in the previous topic, irrespective of nature of metal. Okay, that Dulong-Petit's law is applicable nature, but it should be solid state. If you are calculating the specific heat, that should be heavy solid. Is it understood? So the temperature measurement can be done carefully or perfectly without any defect. If it is suppose gases, then they have a tendency to expand. Whatever the heat we are giving, that may be used to increase the velocity. Okay, that's why specific heat will be specially for solids only. Understood? So that you will understand the thermodynamics. But here, this is for as far as this chapter is concerned, this it is applicable for the heavy solids. Okay. Now, next methods of determining the molecular mass. If you have an unknown substance, what you have? You have unknown substance with you, and you have to find out the molecular mass. Then first method, and most of the students knows at this stage, is empirical formula and molecular formula. What you will do there? You will be finding out the mass percentage of each and every metal. What you will be finding? You will be finding the mass percentage of each and every metal. Okay, sorry, each and every element. Then mass percentage divided by atomic mass. So mass upon atomic mass, you will get moles. Then moles, simplest number of moles. Then it should be converted to integer type. Then you will get the empirical formula. And empirical formula and molecular formula, they can be found by the converted into the vapor. Then 2 into vapor density will get molecular mass. Is it understood? So this is one way. And if you are given with vapor density, you will get molecular mass, then empirical mass, then you will get the n factor. Okay. So depending on the information, if you are directly given with vapor density, we can use this direct method. 2 into vapor density is equal to molecular mass upon 2 into vapor density is equal to molecular mass. Otherwise, if you got the empirical formula, okay, empirical formula into n factor, which will give you the molecular formula. Is that understood? This is, I think, most of the student knows that. If you still have doubt, I can provide you DPP or link of the all topic, individual topic, you will get in the description box, and you can go for, suppose if you have doubt in this one, you can go through that particular lecture in detail. Is it understood? Then silver salt method, many of the students uh, now mostly not knowing. If you are knowing, then it is, you are in a good position. Silver salt method. Okay. Okay, silver salt method. This is used, there is a limitation that this is used only for calculation of molecular mass of organic acids only. Which acid? Organic acid only. Why? Because on ignition that should be evaporate. Organic part can evaporate due to their low melting and boiling point. Understood? So this method, silver salt method, is applicable only for the organic acid. Now if it is a monobasic acid, okay, so like CS3COOH. Once we know this X, then there is no use of this method. So our ultimate aim is to find out the complete molecular mass. What is the alkyl group with COO minus? For example, I am taking. Okay. So HX is a monobasic acid. So when it is treated with silver nitrate, obviously what it will do? Silver and X. This will be coming out as a residue, weight in grams. Okay. So W is the weight of the silver salt we obtained. Silver salt we obtained. Understood? Then on ignition, it is going to give the residue of X grams. Understood? So if it is a more than one, if it is a dibasic, tribasic, if it is dibasic, N will be 2. If it is tribasic, N will be 3 and so on. Understood? So then obviously number of moles of silver nitrate consumed. If its basicity is N, then you will take N moles of AgNO3. And N moles of AgNO3 will be absorbed here, and accordingly you will get N moles of Ag. Is it understood? So depending on the basicity of the organic acid, the amount of silver collected will be more, and accordingly there will we can find out the mass of the salt by using this. Okay, molar mass of the salt is equal to 108 into N into W upon X grams. Once you know the salt mass, accordingly you can calculate the organic acid also. Okay, note down here, then we will proceed further. Okay, see, after once you find out the molar mass of salt, so what is salt? Simply in place of the hydrogen, what it should have? Silver. Okay. So if you want to convert into acid, remove the number of silver salt mass, and in that place you will add the hydrogen mass. Why it is one? Hydrogen mass. Okay. So suppose if it is a dibasic acid, two silver are replaced in place of the hydrogen. So that silver you should eliminate to get the acid, and same number of hydrogen must be substituted. Okay. So first step you will find out the molecular mass of the salt. Then in the next step you will find out the molecular mass of the acid by using this formula. Two steps you will get final answer. Okay. Silver salt method. What you will do first? Given acid is treated with silver nitrate. Then it will be converted into silver salt. Okay. So silver salt, then that silver salt molecular mass can be found by the previous formula. And how much of the this N is the main problem. Suppose if we got 216, okay, divided by 108, that means 2. So this N you will get from the residue. Okay, from the residue after final heating, after ignition, whatever the silver we are finding out, that will be used to calculate the N value. Is it understood? Once you know the N value, once you know the molecular mass of the salt, molecular mass of the salt can be found after first step only. After the very first step, okay, you will find out the molecular mass of the salt. After ignition, you will find out the N value. By substituting both these value, you can find out the molar mass of the acid. Is it understood? Okay, next one is platinic chloride method. Like silver salt method, we are using for organic acid. Okay, same way for organic bases, platinic chloride method is used. Platinic chloride method is used for calculating, for finding out the mass of the molecular mass of the organic bases. Okay, simple for acid, silver salt method; for bases, platinic chloride method. And concept also almost same. Okay, there you will find at the finally you will find silver after igniting, and here you will find platinum after igniting. Understood? And there silver salt will be formed here also, platinic salt will be formed. Okay, so there it was organic acid, now it is organic base. There it was silver nitrate, here it is concentrated HCl and platinic acid. Okay, this is what platinic acid, H2PtCl6. H2PtCl6. So acid plus base, it will form salt. Okay, so on igniting, what it will form? It will residue will be platinum. Okay, so just note down this, then we will understand the formulas. Then we will go for some more neglected topic, but exam definitely there will be question. Okay, if people may not think that this is from the mole concept, but it will be from indirectly related to the mole concept. Okay, so molar mass of the salt first you will find out. Okay, before igniting, whatever the mass we obtained, there we can find out the X value, and with the help of the after igniting, whatever the platinum we got it. Okay, with that you can find out the N value. Is that understood? So W, X, and N. Mass of the substance after igniting is X, mass of the substance before it is W, and mass of the igniting divided by its atomic mass, you will get N value. Okay. So after knowing the experiment, these are all experimental based values. Okay. By knowing these experimental based values W, X, and N, you can find out the molar mass of the salt, and depending on the acidic nature, acidity. Okay, if it is monoacidic, diacidic, N will be, N is the acidic. Okay, if it is monoacidic, N will be 1, and NH4OH, suppose OH is only 1, that time N will be 1. Number of OH in the organic base are 2, that time N will be 2. N is the equivalent factor, we can say. Understood? So W into 195 upon X into 410. This is the complete formula for the molar mass of the base. So here is a Victor Meyer's method. Okay, with the name, don't get confused with the purification of organic compound containing nitrogen. Nitrogen we will find out with Dumas method and Victor Meyer method. Okay, something it is related, that is special method only for the nitrogen containing. Okay, in one method it will be converted to Dumas method, Geldahl method, and Victor Meyer method, that is for alcohols. Like Victor Meyer method is for alcohol, Dumas method, Geldahl method, that is for nitrogen, that is different. Okay, whatever here we are studying Victor Meyer method is, it is applicable for all volatile substances including alcohol. Okay, in organic Victor Meyer identification method is done, that is different. Okay, don't confuse with the name. Here it is a completely related to the mole concept and states of matter. Most it is related to the states of matter also. Okay. So the formula will be, suppose if you are taking the mass of W grams, okay, and vaporizing after heating to a temperature T, okay, at the barometric pressure, at the pressure of P, and here small p is the aqueous tension at the given temperature. Okay, so here P is the moist pressure. Actually, this will contain pressure of the dry gas as well as pressure of the water vapor. So if you are subtracting from the aqueous tension, if you subtract the aqueous tension, ultimately finally will get dry vapor pressure. What you will get? You will get dry vapor pressure. Understood? Vapor pressure of dry gas. Okay. So this is pressure of dry gas. This is volume occupied. It is simply PV is equal to nRT. Almost, or simply you can say PV is equal to nRT. Okay. In place of the simple P, we are substituting here Dalton's law of partial pressure. Pressure of the dry gas is equal to pressure of the dry moist gas minus aqueous tension V R T. N in place of N, mass upon molecular mass. This mass I have taken out. Understood? So don't confuse with the organic procedures here, and don't think that this much big formula how you will find out. Very simple method. Okay, only to convert into the formula this is made. PV is equal to nRT only. Okay, is it understood? Small p is aqueous tension. Okay, next is POAC. POAC stands for P for principle, O for off, A for atomic, C for conservation. Principle of atomic conservation. Okay, so let us take an example. KClO3. KClO3 on decomposition gives KCl plus O2. Okay, if this equation is given, then only you can say. Otherwise, KClO3 can oxidize to KClO4 plus KCl also. Okay. For this particular equation, as an example, I am taking. So here after balancing or how to balance simply, here if I KClO3, if I write 2 KClO3, this will be 3. Is it understood? And here it will be 2. Okay. So according to principle of atomic conservation, weight of the KClO3, here those both stoichiometric coefficients are same. What are same? Both stoichiometric coefficients are same. Weight of KClO3 divided by molecular weight. That means you are getting the moles. Okay. Mass upon molecular mass. Things are very basic, but it is projected in the very scientific form by the POAC. Okay. Weight upon molecular weight, what you will get? Moles. So number of moles of KClO3 reacted must be equal to number of moles of KCl produced. That is what it is proved here. But this is called as a POAC. If the same thing comes, something written like POAC, that time you should feel, you may feel that this topic was not taught to us. Understood? It is simply moles of the KClO3 is equal to moles of KCl. Okay. And sometimes it can be applied for atomic also. Okay. So here number of moles of oxygen in KClO3 should be equal to number of moles of oxygen in O2 also. See 2 3 is 6, 3 2 is 6. Okay, so we if we want we can convert this into the 2 into weight of KClO3 divided by molecular weight of KClO3. This is what moles. Okay, moles into 2 must be 3 into. Here what I will write? Weight of O2 divided by molecular weight of O2. Okay. So with this we can conclude that number of atoms before reaction must be equal to number of atoms after the reaction. Okay. Note down this with the example. This is for concern to the molecule atoms. This is concern to the molecules. Okay. That is what called as a POAC. Okay, see here. If you carefully observe C2O4, if you carefully observe, POAC is a smart method of solving without much formulas. Okay, C2O4 can be written as CO2 whole twice. Okay, so one more, this is twice and this is twice. So we can say it as a CO2 whole 4. Okay, why we write it as a C2O4? Because of its structural formula. Is it understood? That means, see here, according to POAC, in 1 mole of KH3C2O4 whole twice, 4 moles of CO2 are there. Is it clear or not? If you got any doubt, you can ask. Okay. KH3C2O4 twice. Here 1 C2O4 means 2 CO2. 2 CO2 into 2, it is 4 CO2. So 1 mole you are getting 4 CO2. Simply find out how many moles are there. 254 is the mass and 254 is the molecular mass. That means 1 mole are available. That means we are going to get 4 moles. You are going to get how much? 4 moles of CO2. So 4 moles of CO2 means 4 into, but question is about the mass. Question is about what? Mass. Okay. Therefore, 4 into 44. Mass will be, how much you will get? 176. Okay. 176 is the mass you are going to get. Is it clear? Okay, see here in this 1 mole, if you take 1 mole of KH3C2O4 twice, C2O4 is how many? C2O4 can be written as CO2 twice. Okay, C2O4 can be written as CO2 twice. This twice, again 1 more 2 here. So total C2O4 whole twice can be written as 4 CO2. Is that clear? So 4 CO2, that means if I use 1 mole of this and I will get 4 moles of CO2 outside, and given moles also 1 mole, because mass is 254, molecular mass is 254, then total I will get 1 mole. So 1 mole means 4 moles of CO2. So 4 into molecular mass of CO2 44, you will get 176. Okay, next question is, if average atomic mass of silver is 108.5, find mass percentage of its isotopes 107 and 109. How much of the 107 will be present in the normally abundancy? We can say it as abundancy also. Silver 109 and 107 mass percentage you have to calculate to get average atomic mass of 108.5. Okay, in the previous formula we have understood, then percentage it is given. So total number of you have to take it as 100. Whenever there is a percentage, then if it is 107, if I take number of as a x, then 109 is going to be 100 minus x. So average mass is equal to 108.5 x into 107 plus 100 minus x into 109 divided by 100. So you will get x will be percentage of 107, and you will get almost 25 and 75. What will be the answer? 25 and 75 will be the answer. Okay, if the specific heat capacity of the metal is 0.836 joule per gram degree Celsius. There is no problem I have given, but in examination they may give the units problem. Okay, atomic mass you have to find out. Answer to this question is 32.153. Okay. Okay, next question, 0.15. 0.15 grams of a substance displaced 58.9 centimeter cube of air at 300 Kelvin and 746 mm pressure. 746 mm pressure. Find molecular mass, and aqueous tension is 3 at 300 Kelvin is, aqueous tension purely depends on temperature only, say 26.7. Okay, exactly will get 66.274. Okay, same simple formula I have told you, substitute there and you will get the answer. Okay, after this now we are going to do application of all this mole concept into the equation. Okay, so let us take A moles of A treated with B moles of B to form C moles of C and D moles of D. Okay, This is a general assuming that balanced equation. This is also called as a gravimetric method, or it is called as gravimetric method also it is called as. Okay, is it visible? Yes, it is gravimetric method, stoichiometry, because all parts are combined here. As it is a one-shot series, lot of topics I am going to still discuss, like significant figure. Some more topic, neglected topic also I am going to cover, like percentage oleum. Okay, oleum is used for percentage, number volume method for H2O2. Some special methods are also used, so that also I am going to cover. Have patience and complete this chapter in the minimum possible time with the maximum information. Okay. If you are not like this video, kindly like it so that I can make more one-shot videos which are helpful for the last time revision. Okay. So A moles of A treated with B moles of B. So simply if you write this in terms of the mole, this will be mole A mole. Okay. Treated with the B moles, and here it will be C mole, and here it will be D mole. Okay, this is number of moles. So then if we wanted to question in the mass, okay, if we have the question in terms of the mass, then A into, here you will write it as a gram molecular mass. So B into gram molecular mass. Here gram molecular mass of B, gram molecular mass of A, and C into gram molecular mass of C, D into gram molecular mass of D. Okay, so this is the gram molecular mass. Is it understood? This is about the molecular mass. This is about the molecular mass. Okay, next if we have to convert into volume, volume is a method used without understanding the physical state. Don't forget to use this. Okay, it is applicable only for the gases. It is applicable only for the gaseous reactant, and that too in the STP, at STP. Okay, then only if I am assuming that all are the gases and volume is measured at STP, then A into 22.4 liter. Here B into 22.4 liter. Here C into 22.4 liter. And here it will be D into 22.4 liter. Next, number of particles if they ask. Here also again I am considering number of molecules. What is this? Number of molecules. Okay. So then A into Avogadro number, B into Avogadro number, C into Avogadro number, and D into Avogadro number. Okay. So these are gravimetric calculation, and I will take one example here and I will fill this table so that you should be able to understand as per the question. Before that, note down this. Okay, suppose we are using the butene, ENE, butene. Okay, by this method, stoichiometry method or gravimetric method, if we wanted to read out this in terms of the mole, this will be 1 mole of butene react with 6 mole of oxygen to form 4 mole of carbon dioxide and 4 moles of water. There is no restriction here in terms of the moles, and there is no restriction in terms of the here where in terms of the mass also. So 1 into gram molecular mass of butene, 48 plus 8, that means 56. Okay, so then coming to here, it will be 6 into gram molecular mass of oxygen, it will be 32. Then 4 into gram molecular mass of carbon dioxide, it will be 44. Wherever you have problem, I will be giving the link in the description box. You can go through that particular topic. Okay, so complete playlist will be given for detailed description. Understood? So this will be 4 into 18. There is no restriction I am writing here also. Here it is 1 into 22.4, 6 into 22.4, 4 into 22.4. This is not applicable because water is a liquid at STP. Okay. Now here 1 into Avogadro number, 6 into Avogadro number, 4 into Avogadro number and 4 into Avogadro number. There is no restriction in number of also. Okay. Suppose if you are given with a question where what is the volume of oxygen required? What is the volume of oxygen required? Therefore you will take volume and oxygen. Okay. Required. Therefore you will write it on the right side. 6 into 22.4. Okay. For 20 grams of butane. For complete combustion of 20 gram of butane, ENE. So mass is given. So you will check with the mass. Okay. 56 gram of butane C4H8 required 6 into 22.4 liter. Okay. Then 20 gram require how much? Like that you will calculate. Is it visible up to here? Okay. So 20 gram of butane required. Up to here you can calculate by the unitary method, simple unitary method. So this is what, depending on our requirement, you will extract and select and write. Whatever the thing it is asked, you will write it on the right side. Whatever the thing it is given, like mass is given on the left side, this will be from this tabular form, this will be from the question. Okay. So this is what stoichiometry of the reactions. Note down this, then we will go for the further topics. Okay, next one is significant figures. Significant figures means all perfect digits. Okay, all perfect values. All perfect values are assured value and one doubtful digit. One doubtful digit. Okay, all assured value, confirmed value plus one doubtful digit is called as a significant figure. Okay, so suppose if there is something is written 20.3. So up to 20 we are confirmed, but this 0.3 can be 0.4 also, 0.2 also. This is one digit. So all confirmed digit, all perfect also can be written as a confirmed digits. Okay. So confirmed values are how many? 2 and one doubtful digit 1. So the total number of significant digits will be 3. Is it understood? So this we use only in the laboratory, but in the exam point of view, rules for finding out the significant figures are very important. Out of this, last two are very, very important. First of all non-zero numbers always significant. If it is not zero, then it will be significant only. Okay, but main problem comes with zero only. Zero can be between two non-zero, like 3, 0, 5. So this is between two non-zero. So this is also significant. A zero between two non-zero is always significant. Okay, a zeros at the end of the number that include decimal point, like 53.00, two zeros are written, that means they are significant. Okay, so if they are on the right hand side and that include decimal also, then it will be significant. A zeros before the first non-zero, these are not significant. Okay, these are not significant. Before the value, suppose 0.005, so same thing can be written as 5 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Okay, so that's why this will not include anything problem, but here this can be 0108. This shows that this much accuracy we can maintain. Okay, so only 0 before the first non-zero are not significant, and all exact number like 15 inches. Okay, this is exact number, so they will have infinite significant figures. What they are having the infinite significant figures. So this is about the significant figures and definition and how to find out the number of significant figures if you are given with the value. Note down this. Okay, next is mathematical calculations and reporting the with proper significant figures. This is very important topic, because nowadays due to the online examination and criteria, the significant figures accepted by the systems are very important. Okay, so they will be writing with proper significant figures, report the answer according to the significant figures. So multiplication, division, addition, subtraction you are able to do, but you are not according to the significant figure rules, then your answer will be not counted. Okay, so not treated as a correct. That's why after doing lot of efforts in calculation, still your projection is wrong just because of this mistake. That's why I am taking this importance very much. Okay, so addition and subtraction, when you are adding the two things or three things, the final answer you are reporting should have the lowest number of decimal places. For example, 58.384, 58.384, okay, 2.08. So after adding both of them, here number of digits are decimal places 2 and number of decimal places are 3. So final answer should be rounded off and should be reported with only 2 decimal places. Final answer must have only 2 decimal places, left all should be rounded off. Okay, then after multiplication, suppose if you are doing the same multiplication, okay, 58.384 into 2.08, then here there are how many? 5 significant figures. We should worry about the multiplication and division, we should worry about the significant figures. Addition and subtraction, we should worry about the decimal places. Here 5 and here are how many? 3. So 3 and 5, therefore significant figures answer must have, there is no problem of decimal places. Answer must have 3 significant figures. Rest all must be rounded off. Okay, I think all of you are aware of the rounded off rules. If not, I am explaining. Simply after the decimal place, the suppose 58.73. So this we wanted to round off. It is less than 5, therefore you need not to add anything, just neglect it. If it is 7, 8, then what it will be? Above 5. This number to be neglected is above 5. Therefore, it is to be erased after adding 1 to the previous number. Main problem, people are studying up to here but not worried about this number. 58.75, 58.85. Okay. So, if here it is 5, here it is 5. But if the number to be neglected is 5, and previous number is odd number, then add 1 to it and neglect it. Okay, if previous number is even number, you can simply erase it. So both are giving same answer or not. So these are the minute things you should worry about. Okay, these are the scoring, these are very important for calculations. This is about the mathematical calculation with significant figures and all. Okay, so let us go for the laws of chemical combination, then we have to go for the concentration terms. Okay. Okay, these are the laws of chemical combinations. There are 5 laws of chemical combination. Law of constant proportion says that a pure compound like water, okay, pure compound, that is water. Let us take water as example. Pure compound is always made up of the same element. Like water is made up of the hydrogen and oxygen. That means the elements are constant and combined together in the same ratio by mass and volume. So to prepare water, we have to have hydrogen and oxygen. By the mass, it will be 2:16. Okay, 2:16. Or by volume, 2:1. Is it understood? See, by volume 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So to prepare 1 mole of water molecule, half mole of oxygen, 1 mole of hydrogen. That means by volume it is 2:1. By mass it will be 2:16. Okay. So but this constant proportion, this is called as a law of constant proportion. A pure compound always contains same elements combined together in the same ratio by mass or volume. Okay. Then same thing when it is extended for the more than one, like hydrogen and oxygen can combine in this ratio also, and hydrogen and oxygen can combine. Elements are fixed. Okay. Like it is water, and now I am going to take a hydrogen peroxide. Okay. So here 2 ratio, oxygen if I take 32. Okay. Then by volume it will be 2 ratio 2. So here see, this ratio will be what? These 2 ratio. When the same, if 2 and 2 are fixed, 32 ratio 16. That is 2 ratio 1. Okay. So when two elements, the multiple proportion I am explaining, listen carefully. When two elements combine together in more than one ratio, like here 2 ratio, combine together in more than one ratio, then when mass or volume of one of the element kept constant, like here I have kept constant hydrogen, then volume or mass of the other element, this is oxygen, will bear a simple whole number ratio. Like in the mass ratio it is 2 ratio 1 and volume ratio also 2 ratio 1. This always will be whole number ratio. That is called as a multiple proportion. Okay. Now let's see about the next one. What is that? Reciprocal proportion. So this is applicable for 2 and it is applicable for the 3 elements. 2 elements and 3 elements. Suppose like oxygen, sulfur, carbon. Okay. So sulfur and oxygen will combine to form SO2. Carbon and oxygen will combine to form CO2. That means 1 ratio 2. So they themselves also will combine in the same ratio, 1 ratio 2. Okay. So in the same ratio or some multiple ratio also, no problem. They're like 1 ratio 2 can, when it is multiplied with 3, 1 by 2 multiplied with 3, this will be 3 ratio 2. So this is also considered as a multiple ratio. Is it understood? So when two elements combine with the third element in the whole number ratio, then they themselves also combine in the same ratio or a multiple ratio. That is what? Reciprocal proportion. Then law of conservation of mass. Okay, this is the most neglected but most frequently asked in the twisted question. Okay, so what they will give, they will ask the mass of residue. Okay, mass of the gases. Residue means whatever the leftover in the solid state. Okay, so like AgNO3, suppose AgNO3 is converted to AgCl. This we have studied initially also. This is Ag is precipitated, this Ag is residue. So let us take, if I take 108 plus 35.5, here 108 will be there, chlorine gas evaporated will be 35.5. Okay. So like that we can calculate by using the law of conservation of mass. Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be cannot be destroyed. Okay. So but nowadays it is mass energy equivalence. Mass can be converted into energy. E is equal to mc square. So this much mass can be converted into this much energy. Okay. So now it is not applicable for the nuclear chemical reaction. It is applicable only for the thermochemical reaction. In nuclear chemical reaction, mass of the product will be less because energy is increased. Okay. Then Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume says that when two gases combine together, like N2 plus H2, they are combining N2 plus 3H2. So they are maintaining a ratio of 1 ratio 3. When two gases combine together, they do so in the whole number ratio. And if product also gas, like ammonia is also gas, then it will also maintain a simple whole number ratio. They will maintain simple whole number ratio. N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3, 1 ratio 3 ratio 2. Okay. So this is about the law of combining chemical combinations. Okay. Now we will go for the concentration method, especially very important oleum H2O2 method. So stay with me till last. Okay, these are the concentration terms we are going to study. First, mass fraction. Mass fraction means mass of solute. In the numerator it will be mass of solute divided by mass of solution. Okay, so as it is a fraction, so this grams, this will also be grams, there won't be any unit, and it is denoted by W by W. Okay, same way in place of the mass, if I write volume, volume of solute upon volume of solution, then it will be volume fraction, then it is V by V. Mass percentage, okay, mass percentage means same mass of solute by the mass of solution into 100 you will make, so percentage symbol you will write. Same thing here, V by V percentage into 100 you have to make. This will be less than 1, this will be less than 1, this will be less than 100, this will be less than 100. Okay, molarity, small molarity, RITY, this is capital M, and molality it is small m. There is a small difference between these two. What is that small difference? Here it is number of moles of solute per liter of solution. Okay, per liter of solution. Here it is per kg of solvent. Numerator part it is same. Here it will be N by V, number of moles upon volume. Here N by W. Here you have to take mass and that of solvent, that too in kg. Here volume of solution in liter. Okay. Then normality denoted with capital N, and it is numerator part it will be different. Here volume will be same but equivalent moles. In the numerator what it will be? Number of equivalent moles upon volume. Same way mole fraction, number of moles upon total number of moles. Okay, so this is denoted with X. Then parts per million. This is rarely used wherever concentration is very small, like pollution. Okay, so when available quantity of the given substance is very much less, then ppm and ppb are used. Simple, it is as good as mass fraction only. Mass or volume fraction only. Mass of the given substance, total mass into 10 to the power of 6. Okay, billion, if you multiply with the billion, then you will get the, in the 10 to the power of 6 per million, like that per billion you have to multiply with the corresponding factor. Okay, so these things I am going to specially explain volume, strength and volume. Okay, so remaining part I think you have noted this, note down. Okay, volume strength, 2H2O2 gives H2O. Actually, hydrogen peroxide is most unstable substance. When it is stored for longer time, it will lose the solute and convert into solvent. Water is a solvent, H2O2 is a solute. So initial concentration will be very much high. But after certain time what happens? It will start losing. It will start losing oxygen. So because of that, solute quantity will be decreased and solvent quantity will be increased. Therefore concentration will keep on changing. So present concentration, how much it is there, that is evaluated with the help of the oxygen coming out from the 1 liter of solution. We will take 1 liter of solution, completely decompose it, and whatever the volume of oxygen we are collecting at STP, suppose we are collecting 11.2 liter of oxygen by thermal decomposition of H2O2, then this 11.2 V or volume. Okay, this is called as a volume strength. Okay, number volume method, volume strength method. So what is the definition? Volume of the oxygen liberated on decomposition of 1 liter, and oxygen volume must be measured at STP. That volume is called as a volume strength. And there is a shortcut, 11.2 into, if you are given with molarity of the solution, and volume strength if you want find. Okay, so volume strength is equal to 11.2 into molarity given. If you are given with normality, then it will be 5.6 into normality, you will get directly volume strength. Okay, these are the short tricks Now let us see about the percentage oleum. Oleum percentage will be like this, 109 percentage. Okay. So actually oleum is H2S2O7. Okay. Now here it can be written as H2SO4 plus SO3. So this is called as a free oleum. Okay. Percentage of, suppose percentage question will be what is the percentage of free SO3 in 109 percentage oleum. Okay. This is the percentage of oleum. What you have to find out? Percentage of free SO3. Then formula will be 80 into x divided by 18. Okay. What is this x value? This is x value, like 9 here. So if mass by mass, okay, this will be mass by mass, then you will get the percentage free SO3. Is it understood? This is about the concentration method, specially for the oleum and H2O2. Okay. Eudiometry. Eudiometry means whatever the gases coming out. This is also called as a gaseous analysis. Okay. You got one particular compound and it is giving some unknown gases. Okay. So gases are absorbed like KOH. KOH can absorb acidic oxides. Pyrogellol, alkaline pyrogellol can absorb oxygen gas. Like ozone can be absorbed by the ammonia. Like that, the special substances are used for absorbing the gases based upon the quantity of the gas absorbed or decrease in volume. Applying the stoichiometry, we can calculate the molecular formula of the unknown substance. Okay, that is called as a eudiometry. There is a special video lecture on the eudiometry only. You can go through that. Okay, eudiometry. And there are sequential reaction. Okay, sequential reaction, parallel reaction. So what is the difference between parallel and sequential? If A gives B and B gives C, then this is called as a sequential reaction. So the product is unstable here. They further decompose or they can combine with some other product also to form another product. Then it is called as a sequential reaction. But here same set of reactant can give two different products simultaneously. Then it is called as a parallel. How to solve the numerical? There is a model lecture on this. That also you can go through this. Okay, but stoichiometry is only. But application of stoichiometry is different in this one. There is one model questions also given with the answer. You can go for that lecture. Okay. So I hope all of you understood. And don't forget to like the video and share it to your friends so that they can also get good marks and join in a good college. See you. Bye bye.